Welcome to me building $1 billion business in public. We are just shy of $10 million, meaning we've got only 990 million to go. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, as always, we're going to begin with, of course, YouTube Q&A. So I'm going to answer any of the questions that you guys left on YouTube in the form of comments. So if you want me to answer your questions, just leave a comment down below. Next, we're going to get into the main topic of today's video, which is why meetings are stealing your prime building hours. And then we're going to talk a little bit about strategy, mainly discussing the main channel as well as this second channel. Now, for those of you who don't know me, let me give you a very quick little introduction. I started off in robotics, and that is me, the nerdy looking guy right there, regular developer and then a team strategist. I then went into UCLA as the essentially research engineer for researching the human consciousness. It was part of the Elegant Mind Club, it was called. After that, I joined NASA as a computer engineer, and after NASA, I went into the Fortune 500 as a software engineering consultant. These are just some of the companies that I consulted for. There were a lot more. The way it worked is we got pretty much projects handed to us, usually from 3 to 6 months long, and we could have multiple projects at the same time. For example, I was consulting for Amazon and Verizon at the same exact time. Afterwards, after 3 years, I went from junior to manager level. I quit to found my own consulting firm, AB Analytics, that you can see right now. And over the years, we have essentially adopted it into what you see now, which is data analytics, but with AI-powered insights to essentially help companies scale faster and better. That's pretty much the journey. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to, I believe it's pgo.code2ceo.com. Without further ado though, let's get started with the video. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the comments. We got a couple of comments, so let's actually refresh the page and then see which ones. Okay, I'm going to start from the very bottom. So Callum asks, have gone wondering about if getting into making software solutions for health and safety of trades workers. Interesting. My dad has networked some of the top organizations and contacts. It's an active problem and it's creating urgency for trade workers to implement more safe practices in their work. My problem is they do web development, app and mobile development, but they position the business and use business translation so well that they still get the top clients in the industry. Who's the they? Is it your competition? My question is, how can I position myself to learn these more relevant, up-to-date tech skills? That's the most important, but also use my business translation. I'm currently thinking the best way could be to run a subsidiary and leveraging their clients and networks to bring income to the business and myself. I mean, you have the answer right there. You wrote it in the first sentence. My dad has networked with some of the top organizations and contacts. It's an active problem and it's creating urgency for trades workers to implement more safe practices in their work. If your dad has the networks with some of the top organizations and contacts, then leverage him, right? Leverage the network that he has to try and get into these circles so that you can actually work on creating a solution for it. Your second sentence doesn't make much sense to me. The problem is is this your competition? Your competition does web dev, app dev, and mobile dev? But they position the business and use business translation so well that they still get the top clients in the industry. You don't need the top clients in the industry. Like Callum, so here's what we got to understand, right? Whenever you get started, you already have the biggest advantage. You have an advantage in your network. Your dad, right? And forgive me if this is an incorrect portrayal of your dad. I'm going to try my best. Your dad can already connect you with the top contacts in said industry, right? Which means you can get direct access to ask them about literally anything, about the problem they're facing, about what type of solution will work best. You have an inherent advantage over other people in solving this specific problem, right? So that should be period. Like, this shouldn't have existed, right? How can I position myself? You don't need to position yourself to learn any type of relevant tech skills. Like, this has nothing to do with the tech stuff. Right? All this has to do is now positioning yourself, because in these type of works, right, especially blue collar works, it's all about network. So construction, primarily oil and gas, it's a lot about network and it's a lot about word of mouth, who to trust, who to work with, all these things. So your dad having a network is extremely important because that means you can get an insight, essentially. They can introduce you and they'll vouch for you, so to say. So you can easily come up with a solution like that. What I would do is forget about the tech skill stuff, instantly talk to dad, ask dad, introduce me to these folks, hop on a call with them, see how you can help them, right? And if for some reason your technical ability is, lacking, you won't be able to deliver, find somebody who can, okay? Find somebody who can deliver that technical solution and essentially give them a small percentage of whatever you make, right? Arbitrage it. Now, most often than not, you're probably not even going to need to find somebody else because it's not going to be complicated enough. If you're, I don't know how many years of experience you have as a dev, but if you're even 3 to 4 years in as a mid-level dev, I would say they're not going to give you anything too complicated to build. I mean, the problem that they're facing, honestly, it might even be a simple AI automation or something like that. So that's how we go about it. I think you're overcomplicating the situation. Don't even consider the competitors here. All that shows you is there's, validation in the field. You're not gonna get the top clients anyways. Who cares about the top clients right now? You don't want to make billions of dollars, right? You want to make a few 10,000, 100,000, and then get into the millions. You don't need the top clients, right? If the top clients are here at the last 10%, this is the bottom 90%, right? You would cut out this part because you don't want to work with, let's say, the bottom 25. And just put all your effort into these guys over here. Let the top guys play with the top guys. You'll play with the middle folks until you can get to the top guys later. But you don't need to focus on the top guys right now anyways. So hopefully that answers your question, Callum. Perfect. Franco asks, is the main focus at AB, agents, agentic AI now? How do you think agentic AI will evolve over the next few years? No, it's not the main focus. So the main focus has been and always will be data analytics. The way we work is we integrate data pipelines into businesses. Now, if they don't already have a data capture method, if they don't have any data, we do that for them. If they do, we essentially help set up the entire system around it. We help analyze their data, we gather the data, and we make the decisions strictly based on data. So this mainly really, best example, which a lot of people actually use, are ads, right? Ads are all about data, but more than that, they're about reading the data correctly and not misrepresenting something, because data can say one thing and a human might understand it a different way. The AI is there to kind of help you understand it properly and also to give you a new perspective on it. So all that's really shifted from how we initially started is we're just using more AI now. And yes, sometimes we'll have automations that partake in whatever the data tells us to do. For example, if the data tells us that, their onboarding process can be automated and, improved by 40%, let's say, we'll do that automation as well. But in terms of strictly agentic flow or anything of that sort, not really. We don't really work with AI agents too much. If an automation requires an AI agent, we can do it, but our primary selling point aren't AI agents. What I think about them over the next few years, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the MIT study, but like 95% of generational AI right now, Gen AI specifically, is like useless. They're seeing no return. I think that's going to continue for a decent while until we get to a point where people start thinking in terms of problem first principles thinking, as opposed to solution oriented, right? Because most people think, oh, AI agents, how can I apply AI agents to all the problems? It's like they have a puzzle piece that they're trying to force that puzzle piece into this hole. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to look at the whole first and then see which puzzle fits best, right? Puzzle piece. So as a result, I think in the future, they're definitely going to be a powerhouse, but I'll say this. I think in the next 10 years, right, within the next decade, agents will be extremely capable, but I believe there will be a disparity between human adaptability with those agents. I think people will struggle in using those agents properly, but the very few companies, the very few people who are able to properly utilize it will shoot miles ahead of everybody else. That's what I think about the future of agentic flow. And then, mate, I'm just going to call you mate. What is your business? I find it impossible to believe a person doing $10 million a year with their business would spend time recording YouTube videos for 300 views. Actually, on the video you commented, that got less than 300, didn't it? Oh no, it did get 300, okay. Oh, well, 328 actually now. Oh, we just got another comment. Okay, I'll answer that next. But thank you for the question, mate. And very good point, actually. Thank you for bringing that up. And we're not doing $10 million a year just yet. We're very close. We'll get to it by the end of the year, but not just yet. So let's understand one thing. I've seen this everywhere. Oh, if you're making this much money already, why start YouTube or why do this? First, let me just give the simple explanation. More money, okay? Now let me give you a little bit of a winded down explanation. That $10 million, well, by the way, it's not actually 10 million. It's right now sitting at about 8 million. This is not profit. This is annually recurring revenue. Okay? This has to be used to pay off first employees and all the costs and get them take care of everything else. And then I'll get left with, let's say, depending on how good the year was, depending what type of projects we took on, anywhere from 45 to 55% margins. Meaning that I will essentially have the opportunity to take home a little over $4 million per year, right? So if you do this per month, basically, right, you just divide it by 12, essentially. You want to know how much that would be. For reference, every hour, like $500 an hour is 1 million. So 4 million would basically be $2,000 an hour in terms of like a 9-to-5 schedule. That's how long you would need to work and how much money you would need to make that much money. But this 4 million further gets split into 50%, right? Because I do have a partner in this. So that means that I actually take home about $2 million a year. If you do the math on the $2 million a year over the course of, a year, I mean, let's just do it together so I could give you exact figures. That's $166,000 in profit, okay, a month. Now, this does not account for taxes. I have to pay taxes on top of everything here, okay? So in reality, yeah, I take home a little more than 100K per month from my business, but look at where we came down from. We started from 8 million, we ended up with 100K, right? Now, this has to do more so with the business model itself. I run a consulting firm, and initially when I started off, I made the mistake of thinking that, if you have an A team, you're gonna have an extremely good business. So I started paying my employees a lot. And in fact, I have commission on top of that for my employees. So my employees make a shit ton of money. And I also make a decent amount of money, but I could make a lot more money if I cut down my costs. However, I'm at a point where I have developed friendships with a lot of the people that I work with, a lot of the C-suite execs, and I cannot just simply fire them nor cut down their salary. And in fact, I wouldn't even want to, because we all like working, we all like doing the work that we're doing. So this is how much actually comes to me a month, okay? Now, why am I working on YouTube? Why not focus more on this, right? If it's already making me this much money. If I scale this to 16 million, I'll be able to make over 200. Let me explain. There are certain things called vehicles in this world, okay? You might be familiar with them. You probably are. A business is a type of a vehicle. The business that I have chosen, this exact one, was a vehicle for me similar to that of either walking or riding a bike. By the way, you could probably already tell, but my drawing ability is horrendous, okay? So these are the vehicles that my company represented. And this got me to become a millionaire. This got me to be able to get the financial freedom, get the time freedom, get the location freedom that I desired, and pretty much, for the most part, have anything I want monetarily speaking. Outside of, let's say, I can't go out and buy a Bugatti or something, because that would just be bad spending. I mean, I can, but it wouldn't be smart, right? Next, what I need to do to get to the next level that I want to get to is I need to choose a new vehicle, okay? So I need something like a car or a plane. How do you even draw a plane? Okay, I'm just gonna draw something like this. Okay. Oh my God, this is horrible. Really, apologies for my drawing ability. So this is the vehicle that I have now, and these are the vehicles that I need to get to. And YouTube for me is this exact vehicle, because what you might not see from YouTube is as follows. I'm the only one that can do what I'm doing. Why? Because my primary source of income isn't on YouTube. Now, this video that you mentioned was, got 300 views, but my main channel gets a lot more views, right? And I can invest in that channel. So out of this 100K, right, that I make a month, of course, I have other sources of income as well that I'm not going to talk about here, but I feed this into my YouTube. So I get the best equipment, I get the best team, I get the best video ideas, I raise the quality of the videos that we make, I invest, all in hopes of building Code to CEO. Code to CEO is a startup accelerator for me. I get the best talent across the world, so specifically software engineers who might not be too familiar with business specifically. They don't have as much business acumen, and I help them essentially fill in that gap. They're really good technically, they don't have the marketing and the sales skills, and I help them start a business, become profitable, and I take an equity of that business. So what ends up happening is they become my vehicle, so to say. It's a win-win situation. I help them get to where I was, and they help me get to where I want to be, okay? And this is the cycle, and all the money that I, flow into this, it only gets me further and further and further. Second thing, this is what I realized as well. I don't have a course, right? I place a cap on the amount of people that can get in, on the amount of people that I work with, because I work one-on-one. But if I did not have like that course set up, or if I didn't have that way set up and I just opened the floodgates to my course, quote unquote course, right? I could have made a lot more money, okay? So right now I'm losing money on Code to CEO, but that's because I do masterminds and all these things. If I ran it as a course, like a lot of these course gurus do, I would probably be able to take home close to, let's say $2 million a year easily. So you might say, well, Bugo, that's the same amount as you're taking over here. Well, yeah, after taxes, right? But guess what? Over here, I'm going to be running it at like 95% margins. So do you see how that happens? This is why a lot of people go into info space. When you ask why do people start a YouTube? Because even if somebody has a successful business, even if they're making, let's say, I know people that are running like $10 to $20 million companies, and they started a YouTube and they're making more from the YouTube itself, like the course that they're selling, the info products that they're selling. Now, if that's what the position that I was going to go into, did I consider doing this? I did consider doing this because at the end of the day, I still care about helping people. However, I'm playing the long game. So I didn't take this route, right? My margins aren't nearly 95%. And I don't let everybody in. You guys know, most of you who've taken a call with me will know that I probably declined you from entering C2C, or I've told you you're not a good fit yet. Come back later. So if I decided to go this route, I could make a lot more money. However, I'm going the long-term route. So I get individuals who want to work with me because I'm being honest about everything that I'm doing, and I help them get to a certain level, and I invest in the company, and then I make multiples on it, right? So I might miss out on $2 million a year, but then I might get, a company might get valued at 100 million, and I have, let's say, 10% equity in that, which would be 10 million. Of course, this one is a lot harder, but to me, it's high risk, high reward. So hopefully that clears things up a little bit, mate, on why I would spend my time recording YouTube videos. Because every single day that I spend recording gives me evergreen videos. I can make this video once, and 5 years from now, somebody can still watch this video and be a part of C2C. And whoever it is that's going to be a part of C2C can be the next Airbnb, can be the next Uber, can be the next Facebook, can be the next Google, right? So in terms for me of tracking ROI, I literally can't track ROI because it can be so high in cases like this. So that's why I do what I do. And of course, none of this would be possible if I didn't have the money here. Like if I didn't have the money here and this was my only source of income, this would completely fail and it would flop. I just wouldn't be able to make it, be sustainable enough. And I wouldn't be able to actually teach anybody anything, right? So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm the only one that can really do it, at least in the niche that I'm in, because nobody makes more than me as a software engineer in the niche that I'm in that's going down this specific path. There are a few founders who can do this, but they're choosing not to. They're going in a different direction. So hopefully that, helps explain things a little bit, but appreciate the comment. Thank you, mate. VSP says, how was having an abundance mindset contribute to entrepreneurial success compared to scarcity mindset? Oh my God, I can go on this topic for a lot. Okay, then I might leave this for tomorrow's video because I actually want to answer this question. So let me first even explain what an abundance mindset is. Abundance versus scarcity. So this was the most evident to me, I think, when it came to client acquisition. This is when it really opened my eyes. When I had just started my business and I was trying to acquire clients, I thought there is no way that anybody's going to go with me. I had, you can probably hear it too. I have somewhat of an accent as well. I'm not from here. I just didn't have the self-confidence to really deliver. I had all these things going on in my mind. And I thought for a fact that there's not going to be enough clients that are going to want to work with me. So initially, I had a very scarce mindset. I remember I outreached, I believe, like initially when I started off, when nothing was working, I reached out to like 50 people. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people. Imagine reaching out to 50 people and not even one person, not even 2% of them, right, decided to work with me. And I felt defeated. I'm like, wow, that means even if I reach out to more people, it's not gonna matter, right? It's not gonna work. But what was happening was that I didn't realize that in reality, there's 8 billion people. For those of you, a billion is a lot. A billion is 1,000 millions, okay? And most people don't even really understand how many a million is. Not $1,000,000, million people, okay? When I started understanding that at its core, sure, I talked with 50 people, but there's 80 billion of them still left. If I just talk to 50 people, let's say a day, there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna get clients. And I realized, I'm like, wait, if let's say I am the worst person who can ever, like worst salesperson on the planet, right? I'm a software engineer, I'm awkward, I'm socially awkward, I can't talk to people. And I have a 1% close rate. Meaning on people that I agree to come on a close, on a sales call with, I close only one of them. So that would mean I need to talk with 100 people on a sales call to get one client, okay? So if my goal is this one client, let's work backwards. I need to get 100 people to agree to hop on a sales call with me. Out of those 100 people to agree to hop on a sales call with me, well, how many of them do I need to reach out for them to give me a positive response back? For them to say, yes, Bago, I would love to hop on a sales call with you, send me the link. Let's assume, once again, I'm the most horrible writer on the planet, right? It's abysmal. My writing ability is abysmal. I can't create anything of value, and I only have 1% of positive reply rate whenever I reach out to people. Well, let's do the math. What is that, 10,000? Okay, so 10,000 people that I need to get a positive response from. And again, let's once again assume only 1% of people that I'm going to reach out to even think of giving me a response of any type, right? So let's do that. What is that, 1 million? No, that's 10 million. No, that's not 10 million. That's a million. Yeah, because we only need to do 100 times 10,000. Okay. So what ends up happening here? Let me do that as well, because that might be a little confusing. Let me just erase this. There we go. Now we have it. So we went from 10,000 to now 1 million, meaning I need to reach out to 1 million people to get one client. And this is assuming I'm absolutely the worst in this, like in the world, okay? For reference, industry standards are minimum about 20%. For this, they hover at around 2 to 3% at the bare minimum, right? And then for this, they'll hover at about minimum, once again, about 40%. Okay? But even if I take this example of me having to reach out to 1 million people, guess what? I have a formula now. 1 million people. If I reach out to 1 million people, at the end of it will be one client. I now have something I'm familiar with as a software engineer, a formula, a way to get there. And this is the biggest example of an abundance mindset. Okay? I know for a fact that no matter how dire of a situation I am in, no matter how shitty my situation is, no matter what the result is that I need to get, I know for a fact there is always a formula. All I have to do is put in the reps. And I know I can expect an outcome. Now, is this outcome always guaranteed? No, it's not always guaranteed, because this isn't set in stone. Things can change, life can happen to you, okay? However, the best part about this is that all of these numbers are dynamic. Keep in mind, the more I do this, right, each outreach I do, each email I send out, I'm going to get better and better at it, because I'm going to study what worked and what didn't, and I'm going to reiterate, right? I'm going to go through that pain and learn. So these numbers are going to change even if I don't want them to. These numbers are going to increase without even me wanting to. Like, unless I literally choose to self-sabotage, these numbers are going to increase. So meaning at the end of the day, this is going to go down, right? And hell, if I keep the same amount, my clients are going to go up. So I know, as long as I don't give up, as long as I persist, I put in consistent effort every single day, I am bound to get to where I want to get to. And this is really what people don't understand. This is the abundance mindset that they don't understand. They don't understand that there's always a client out there. They don't understand that there's always more money out there. They don't understand that there's always more of everything out there for you specifically. Yes, you watching this. Not just me, but also you. 8 billion people. It's just, the reason I keep emphasizing this is because people, we're born into this world and we don't really pay attention to the size of the world. We don't pay attention at the macroeconomics of it, okay? We don't consider other people. We're so tunnel visioned into our own life, into our own worries, into our own pain points, into our own everything, that we don't quite understand the scale of the world. 8 billion individuals. In your own city, there's probably millions of individuals. Each individual has their own life, has their own family, has a work they do, has a job they do, has things they like, things they dislike. 8 billion unique individuals. All of these individuals have money. All of these individuals have interests. All of these individuals spend money, okay? Now, it's not like I'm saying there's only 10 of these guys. There's 8 billion, and once again, you probably can't comprehend 8 billion because it's such a big number that your brain just refuses to even bring up, right? But just think of a million, right? Think of 1,000, and then think of 1,000 thousands, that's a million, and then think of 1,000 millions, right? Crazy amount. My point is, there is always more money to be made. And there is so much money in the world that's going around that you simply can't even fathom it. One of the best ways you can develop an abundance mindset is through travel, right? So this VSP, in terms of contributing to entrepreneurial success, it is the biggest thing. It's the most important thing in my life ever. An abundance mindset is not only the most important thing in my life in terms of entrepreneurial success, but also in terms of every other form of success. Fitness, relationships, health, anything, right? It's because I know there is so much out there that I have not even yet tapped into. I know there's so much more for me to take, right? And traveling is one of the things that actually taught me that at a very, very young age. The more I traveled, the more I saw the world, the more wealth I saw, the more poverty I saw. I realized, okay, I'm not doing as bad as I thought I was, but at the same time, I'm not doing nearly as good as I thought I was. You see the world around you, you get to understand, you get to see the different types of lives people are living, and you get to see just how much there really is in the world, of the good and the bad. But it's the scale that's the important thing. There's so much of good in the world. And yes, true, there's also so much of the bad, but there's so much of the good that like you don't even need to care about the bad too much, because as long as you just commit to the good, there's enough to go around for everybody. It's just that most people don't have that mindset, so they settle for the bad, right? That's a little rant on there. Actually, we have enough time to go over this, so I'll go over it right now. Now let's move on to the main topic of the video for today. So today's topic is meeting still your prime building hours. Now, this is specifically if you're in a 9-to-5. So if you're a mid to senior level developer, currently at a 9-to-5 environment, making, let's say, 6 figures or at least doing very well for your national average, continue watching this video. If you are not, this video it is not for you, okay? Now, what I mean by meetings are, of course, you know what they are. Your Scrum meetings, right? Your daily stand-ups, all the bullshit, non-technical stuff you have to show up to, and you're forced to. Sometimes you don't even talk. Hell, sometimes you're not even paying attention on the call itself, right? This is the biggest waste of time in the world. You would probably be better off playing a video game during this time than doing what it is you're going to be doing at these meetings. Because at least with a video game, you de-stress. And video games do have, at least to, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due, some type of benefits for your reflexes and things like that, okay? But going to useless meetings is one of the biggest wastes of your time. So as a result, and this is what I did as well, what I urge every single individual, so whether you're currently in a 9-to-5 or you yourself are a business owner, right? And you have a few meetings in your calendar, you need to do a deep audit. Identify all the meetings you currently have and ask yourself this question. Do I absolutely need to be on there? need to be on there. If the answer to this isn't an immediate yes, you cancel the meeting. But Bugo, what if my manager invited me to this meeting that I have to go and I don't talk, I don't do anything, but my manager invited me, it would be rude if I don't go. It's like on my calendar. Okay, you send a message to your manager and you say, Mr. Manager, this meeting is absolutely useless for me. I do not want to waste 30 minutes of my time on something useless. I want to be productive. Hence, I will not be showing up to this meeting and I will be spending the 30 minutes doing something more productive. Should you believe or should you think that this is not the case, please let me know. Otherwise, appreciate it. Thank you. I have done this so many times back in my 9 to 5 when I was getting fed up with it, especially once I myself became a manager. I literally had about, I kid you not, 6 hours of meetings a day. I cut that down to 1.5 hours because so many of them were useless, right? We had these once a month, these 2-hour meetings on like culture building and game stuff that people would like play. It was like everybody would get together and then they would do these remote games and stuff. And I said, look, I appreciate the culture building and all this stuff. I get the gist of it. Like, it's for the betterment of everybody, blah, 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 blah. But I'm already, I'm social enough. I go to all the in-person events with everybody. This 2 hours for me is a big waste of time. I'd rather not show up and do something else. I said it. They said, okay, understandable. You don't want to come. Don't go on. Don't come. Other things. There were a lot of meetings that I just simply got invited to because people thought I would need to be on there. Primarily that had to do with projects that I was leading. Projects that I was leading and meetings that had nothing to do with me. Technical meetings that were simply a status update or status report that I kept getting invited to and being made a required attendee. And I told them, do I need to be on here? Yes or no? They said, well, no, but I said, so it's a no. If you do need me, you can always ping me, right? Yes, good. I'm not showing up to this meeting. This one, do I need to be on this meeting? Well, no, but I thought, no, thank you. You can ping me if you need me. Do I need to be on this meeting? Yes, you need to be on this meeting because, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this meeting stays. This is exactly how you want to audit all of your meetings that you have. And I mean every single meeting, even outside of your job too, even if you have in-person commitments. Do you need to be there? Is this beneficial for you? Is there an ROI for you? You need to be extremely greedy with your time. People don't understand this. People don't understand how important time is. Imagine every hour you're giving away, I come, reach into your pockets, and take out like $10,000, if you had $10,000, but however much money you have. Every time you go up to a 30-minute or an hour-long meeting, I come and I steal your wallet. How would you feel? That's exactly what it feels like whenever you go to these useless meetings with no agenda, nothing, and you just waste your time. Because time is money, in a sense, right? And actually time is more important than money because money you can make, time you can't get back, right? So be extremely greedy with your time. And right now, if you're at a 9 to 5 environment, please do this audit. And trust me, your managers will understand, your bosses will understand. And if they don't understand, you'll still prove them wrong because now you'll be more productive to actually work on yourself and better yourself and potentially even leave the 9 to 5 entirely, right? If you're a business owner, audit this same exact thing, same exact way. Do it the same exact thing. Do you need to be at these meetings? If you're not going to talk, you're not going to compute it, it's literally useless for you, but it's going to take away your attention still and you're not going to be able to focus on something else, then message the person in charge of it, tell them, do you need to be on there? If not, leave. Be extremely adamant about this, especially for those of you who are, a little bit more conformative with regards to the 9 to 5. You're afraid to challenge authority, you're afraid to challenge your bosses or whatever. Don't even think about it and do this. Protect your hours. Be extremely greedy with your hours. Be the greediest person on the planet with your time, okay? And that's pretty much the rant I wanted to go on for that. Let's talk a little bit about strategy. So, let me actually like this so I know I covered it. Let me refresh. That should be all the comments, right? Perfect. So strategy-wise, daily uploads are going well. We've gotten a decent amount of subscribers as well. Main channel is doing fine too. You'll see a couple of new videos coming out on the main channel. Make sure you check them out. They'll be pretty good bangers. And then tomorrow or the day after, we will take a look at our email campaign. So it's not done just yet, but I do want to share the results of it to explain how I'm doing everything for the firm. What's next for the channel? So I would like your guys' opinion on things. I am thinking of actually moving forward, maybe doing a poll or things like that to get audience insights with what you guys want to see specifically. Or you can just literally leave a comment on what type of topic you want to see next. Main reason being is sometimes I might cover things that are a little too high level, and I'll get emails that say, oh, I watched the video, it was very good, but it wasn't really applicable to me because I feel like it was too high level for me. So I want you guys to leave comments and let me know. Like, was it too high level? Was it perfect? Is this exactly what you want to be seeing, and so essentially so on. So that's pretty much it. I talked a lot. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, I will see you tomorrow.